Good morning and welcome to the Daily Journal Newsbreak, sponsored by Renaissance Bank. Today is Friday, July 6th. I'm your host, Chris Kiefer, and we're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi. But first, let's start with the weather forecast. Today, we're looking at a 40% chance of rain with a high of 93 and a low of 72. And the extended forecast is similar over the next 3 days. Saturday, 40% chance of rain, high of 87 and a low of 71. Sunday, 40% chance of rain, high of 88, low of 71. And on Monday, again, a 40% chance of rain, the high is 89 and the low is 72. Let's take a look now at today's top headlines. Following a town hall meeting on Thursday night that drew more than 200 residents, the Saltillo Board of Aldermen voted 3-2 to switch to river water. After months of complaints about dirty, cloudy, and sometimes smelly water, Public Service Commissioner Brandon Presley called a town hall meeting. After more than 3 hours of discussion, the board voted to spend $114,000 to switch the entire city to river water. Alderman Kopi Grantham, Macomb Driscoll, and Craig Sanders voted against the change. Donald Cullum and Terry Glidewell voted against. I think I said that wrong. Let me do that again. Alderman Kopi Grantham, Malcolm Driscoll, and Craig Sanders voted for the change. Donald Cullum and Terry Glidewell voted against. Glidewell said he was against the switch solely on a rough estimate. He requested a cost estimate study to look at the move. Even though the board voted to make the switch Thursday night, it will be several months before the change actually takes place. The city will have to go through the bidding process for materials to reconnect to the Northeast Mississippi Regional Water Supply District. In September 2017, the city switched the entire city to well water, which could be produced for about half the cost of what it was paying for river water. But after switching, City Hall was besieged by complaints about water conditions. The cost of switching over could cause water bills to jump more than $5 a month. The Tupelo City Council has paved the way for improvements at two busy intersections to move forward. At a cost of about $206,000, the intersection of Coley Road and West Jackson extended, and the intersection of Coley Road and McCullough Boulevard will receive upgrades intended to ease right-hand turns. The city's major thoroughfare program will pay for these projects, which target two high-traffic corridors. Neither improvement was initially on the major thoroughfare Phase 6 priority list. Program Chairman Greg Perkle acknowledged that the addition of these projects will limit available funding later in Phase 6. However, Perkle said the Major Thoroughfare Committee deemed the upgrades to be of sufficient value to proceed. Major Thoroughfare has several other projects on the horizon as well. Those include improvements to a stretch of Easton Boulevard near Cooper Tire and an ambitious proposal to widen a stretch of West Jackson Street. It has been officially summer for only 15 days, but heat advisories have been commonplace in Northeast Mississippi in recent weeks. According to the National Weather Service in Memphis, the number of notices in the area are only slightly above average for this point in the year. And it hasn't been as hot in Tupelo as it has been in other parts of the region. While Tupelo's heat index reached 98 degrees on Thursday, Memphis was sitting at 103 and Jackson was at 106. While the dog days of summer are far from over, National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Johnson said drier air should cool things down somewhat in the coming days. But as far as the rest of the month goes, Johnson said that's up in the air. He said moisture from day to day will continue to affect the heat index. He said an extended dry period would cause dew points to go down and would lessen any heat advisory concerns. And in sports, the Tupelo 49ers defeated the DC Shockers 10-2 on Thursday night in the first game of the 49ers Invitational Tournament. Tupelo was lifted by 2 home runs from Mooreville's Andy Franks and a complete game performance by the Troopers' Will Armistead. Franks, a recent Mooreville graduate, finished with 4 hits and 4 RBI and had 2 home runs, a double, and a single. Armistead, a rising senior, ran into trouble in the first inning when he allowed 2 runs. He quickly settled down after that. The 49ers offense struggled through the first 2 innings, but Franks got the scoring started in the third. He led off with a double and stole home. Tupelo then added 7 more runs in the inning. And that does it for Newsbreak on this Friday. Don't forget that this show is just one of the many online offerings courtesy of the Daily Journal that gets you news off the page and on the go. Each story discussed today on Newsbreak can be found in your Daily Journal or online at thejournal.com, where you can also find a new episode of Newsbreak each weekday morning. Special thanks to Renaissance Bank for sponsoring Newsbreak each day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Kiefer. Have a great weekend.